Hi, I'm Amira Gill and I'm a songwriter, a singer, and a music therapist. This talk today is not going to answer questions about life's trials and tribulations, or it may just. I wouldn't know. What I do know is that curiosity has been the greatest gift of my life. I was 8 or 9 years old when I discovered that I just really love to sing. That's all I ever wanted to do. And I remember being in school thinking, when can I get back home to my room, which unfortunately for my brother I shared with him, and sing my heart out till the evening, till it was time to sleep. At that time, I was listening to mostly English soul R&B singers like Beyonce, Alicia Keys, Leona Lewis, and the like. I didn't have a teacher at that time to teach me how to sing the way that they did, but the only thing that drove me to learn how they do these amazing things that they do was a sense of curiosity, was the need to break it down and incorporate it into my own singing style. I would often wonder, how do these singers sing vibratos at the end of vocal phrases that sound so natural? It never sounded forced the way mine was sounding at that time. How do they sing vocal runs with such ease? How do they sing emotionally intense phrases while still remaining soft in volume? It was a great mystery to me, but I had to break it down. One of the songs I loved singing at that time was At Last, Beyonce's version, originally sung by Etta James. And it incorporates all of these things that I'm talking about. So I'm going to sing a little piece of it for you. At last, my love has come along. My lonely days are over. And life is like a song. Vibrato. Oh, yeah. At last, the skies above are blue. My heart was wrapped up in clover. Vocally intense but soft. The night I looked at you. Vocal run. Safe to say, I improved. And at 15, I was asked to join an indie band called the Incredible Mindfunk. They were a 4-piece band with guitar, bass, drums, and vocals that I was supposed to do. It was my board year. I was 15 years old. And it was a tough decision for my parents to accept that I'm going to be joining a band full-time when I had to study. But there was a burning desire inside of me that said, just take up that offer. Don't let it go. It's not going to be a chance that keeps coming back to you. So then I accepted and I joined this band. It was the first time that I was getting to write original vocal melodies, write lyrics, be a part of a music fraternity community that till now I had just admired and seen from the surface, but now I was really a part of it. It was very uncommon at that time for a teenage girl to be a part of an all-boy band, let alone do music and gigs at clubs and late-night venues 3 or 4 nights a week when I had school to attend the next day. It was also not at all common to take interstate flights to attend competitions or create an album of original music by recording at studios late into the night. But my parents were really supportive, as they always have been, and I can say it has been one of the most incredible experiences of my life. So in 2015, I left India to go study music therapy, an undergraduate degree in music therapy at the Berklee College of Music. I didn't know how life-changing it was going to be for me at that point. But when I got to Berklee, I heard sounds and languages from all over the world. I met people from corners of the world that I didn't even know existed on the map. I was seeing instruments of all shapes and sizes that belong to eclectic musical traditions. I tasted coffee for the first time. That was espresso coffee from my friends in Italy. And I had the most amazing, holistic, exciting experience. But one of the most life-changing things for me was the music. I was drawn to musical styles that I never thought I would be. Somehow Middle Eastern music really pulled me. And I ended up singing an Azerbaijani folk tune for the last recital that I ever did at Berklee. And it goes like this. Fikrimden geceler yatar bilmirem. Bu fikri başımdan yatar bilmirem. Neyleyim kesene çata bilmirem. Ayrılık, ayrılık aman ayrılık. Her bir deten ağlar aman ayrılık. I ended up joining the Balkan ensemble where we were doing music from the Balkan countries. I joined Lotus sound group, which was an a cappella group, again with people from all over the world. And they asked me to sing a Greek song, be the lead vocalist for a Greek song that we were going to perform at the Moscow A Cappella Festival in Russia, one of the largest a cappella festivals in the world. It was absolutely crazy to me that someone who sang only in one language is suddenly exposed to this entire world. It was also ironic that being so far away from home was what sparked the interest in my own heritage. I started wondering, what are my roots? Where are my roots? I started digging into Punjabi folk music, which is my heritage. I wanted to know about my family's history with relation to the partition of India. I wanted to explore the music of the saints and poets from that time, and the only way that I could do that was by hearing the music, learning the music, and also learning the Gurmukhi Punjabi script, which I ended up learning to read and write. Funnily enough, a few years down the line, with the help of my friend, I ended up composing music for one of Bulle Shah's poetry, and the song goes like this. Chad de suraj टल दे वेखे बूझे दीवे जल दे वेखे हीर दा कोई मूल ना पावे खोटे सिक्के चल दे वेखे. Beautiful, right? It ended up being on Facebook's Sound Library, a part of the original Indian music genre category. It was not just Punjabi music though that called out to me. It was also Bengali music from all over India. Bengali music I sang a Rabindra Sangeet which goes like this. Amaru porano jaha chai, tumi tai go. আমারও পরানো যাহা চাই তুমি সুখ যদি নাহি পাও যাও সুখের সন্ধানে যাও তুমি সুখ যদি নাহি পাও যাও সুখের সন্ধানে যাও আমি তোমারে পেয়েছি হৃদয় মাঝে আরো কিছু নাহি চাই গো আমারও পরানো যাহা চাই. I also got exposed to South Indian classical music or Carnatic music, which unfortunately for North Indian people is not very common to be exposed to. But when I heard it, being so far away from home, because I had exposure to it, meeting new people, meeting people from the South, from the Indian diaspora in America, I was exposed to those sounds and I suddenly felt at home. I remember asking my now teacher, Chandana Balakalyan ma'am, to teach me how to sing that music at 21 years of age. And I'm sure it was different for her also because she was teaching someone who was not exposed to that world till I was out of my teens. One of the songs that really pulled me in at that time was Sudha Raghunathan's version of Mattel. And it goes like this. Mate Malaya Dwaja Pandya Sanjate Matangavadana Guha माते मलय ध्वज पांड्य संजाते मातंगवदन गुह शातोदरी शंकरी चामुंडेश्वरी चंद्रकलाधरी ताये गौरी. I ended up singing songs in 19 different languages in those 4 years. I didn't have answers at that time about what I'm going to do by learning all of this music, listening to all of this music, but it all makes sense in the larger picture. The music that I sang, that I heard, influenced the people that I choose to interact with. It was an amazing experience because today, the way that I sing is influenced by all of the music that I've allowed myself to listen to learn, to sing. It flows naturally into my songwriting. It creeps up into my vocal improvisations. It ends up being an instrumental part of the songs that I choose to write, the people that I choose to songwrite and collaborate with. It's greatly expanded my circle of friends and collaborators, and in effect, my entire world and the experiences that I allow myself to have. Moving on, as a music therapy major, I had to do an internship of 6 months. And for that, I flew out to LA, California, where I was doing my internship at the UCLA Children's Hospital. Now, the US is a country of immigrants, and big cities like LA have people from all over the world residing in it. I was working with the pediatric intensive care unit, at the maternity ward, in the neonatal intensive care unit, with children on the hematology and oncology departments. It was amazing to see the resilience that all of these patients and people and families had. Some of the children had not been to school for months and months, so their socialization was limited. Some of the babies were celebrating their second birthdays in the very same room that they were born in. Some people had flown across the globe, away from their families, to receive medical attention from some of the best medical professionals available at the UCLA Children's Hospital. As a music therapist, my role was to provide a space of comfort, a space that was safe for them, to normalize a hospital environment. But how was I supposed to do that? To creatively engage someone, to bridge that communication gap, that fear that they were feeling, with someone who was a Spanish-speaking mother from Mexico, who did not speak English, who was very, very skeptical about a complete stranger entering her critically ill baby's room. How was I supposed to put her at ease in that situation? The only way that I could come up with was by singing a song, preferably in her language, specifically from her country, that was familiar to her, hopefully which had positive associations for her, that possibly her baby had also heard in the womb, while being in the womb, because auditory connections are the first to form in a baby. So I ended up singing this song. How was I supposed to bridge that gap with an Indian American family who I had met at the maternity ward, who had just had a baby, a newborn baby? But the baby, they could not celebrate the birth of the baby, but instead were scared and were feeling anxious because the baby had been born with a heart disease, which required him to get surgery in the next few months. When I entered the room, the entire family was there: mum, dad, little sister, the maternal grandparents. But I wanted to shift the focus. I wanted to be able to help them to celebrate the birth of this baby, which of course they felt, but it was overtaken by this fear, this anxiousness that one feels when a little baby is going in to get surgery. So what did we do? We did something beautifully creative. We used each of the experiences to recreate a lullaby that was common to everybody in that room. And they could finally find a way to celebrate this beautiful birth of their baby. So how does it matter that I like to sing in different languages, that I'm curious about music and how it influences me as a singer, as a music therapist, as a songwriter? Because as long as I'm curious about the music, I'm curious about the world and the place that I inhabit in it. I'm opening the doors to new possibilities professionally and personally. I'm creating strong foundational relationships with the people that I engage with, that I'm open to engaging with. It allows me to take risks, to grow as a person. It allows me to recreate myself constantly and not be scared of the stereotypes that other people have about my self-imposed limitations and the supposedly correct trajectory of life that I'm supposed to follow. It also scares me sometimes. It makes me feel insecure, vulnerable, lost, scared, nervous, all of those things. But at the end of the day, being curious and allowing myself to follow that curiosity has given me a bounty of color and experiences that is rare for a younger person like me to say they have already experienced. Being curious has been a great gift because it has been the compass in my life and a means of authentic connection with every person that I have met. And truly building authentic, real connections is the most important thing in my life. So whenever I feel scared, lost, I ask myself, what are you curious about? What excites you? And most of the time, that answer is something that I'm happy with and that I follow and feel it has been the right decision for me. So I hope that if there's one thing that you take back from this talk, is that if you feel curious about something's really tugging at your heart, don't ignore it, follow it, and be open to seeing where it leads you. Thank you.